Well, good morning. So I thought we'd tour the cabinets today. So on the back wall, that's air conditioning. You guys won't mess with that for a long time yet. Our general tools, we have two cabinets of them. They're set up exactly the same. So in here we'll have some tools we're going to talk more about next week. Obviously you can see some screwdrivers there we'll talk about, and we've already mentioned a few of the pliers. This cabinet's going to get reworked, so I'm going to be getting rid of the double open ends in the bottom down here, and I'm replacing them with ratchet end wrenches that we talked about. It's got some new ones the other day, so I'm going to get rid of the open end and double open ends. Keep the double boxes though. Here is a set of now. Oh, by the way, this end for a while is all SAE. That is, America sized wrenches. And so here we go. We got short ones, of course, and longer ones. Those are not stubbies exactly. Those ones on top, these end up here. They are a little shorter. Those would be considered stubbies for what they are size-wise. So like a 15/16 or 1 inch, that would be a stubby in that size. Those would not be really considered stubbies. They're smaller than average, though. These are a little extra length ones. Screwdriver cabinet. Obviously, there's some out. I'm using them right now. Phillips. There's Phillips more on that side. Flat blade here. And then down here, we got some Torx. We've got some stubby little beggars down here. Here we have Pliers, the generic Pliers cabinet. So obviously, you've got some side cutters up yonder. Some needle nose pliers. Some specialty looking but they are just regular slip joint pliers in essence over there, but they have some special ends on them. More, I think, for hose clamps, so I never use that setup there. So, and then you get some channel locks, some more slip joints, some oddball slip joints, kind of different shaped slip joints, but that's all they really are. And then, of course, some vice grips. We leave the vice grips down here in the bottom. Okay, this is the first American socket board. Okay, so across the top, okay, there's your wrenches. Obviously, you get shorter ones and then the longer ones. All right, up top, we'll talk more about those. We haven't seen those yet, but those are some Allen sockets. Now, right here, 1/4 inch drive. Now, from this one up into here, these guys are 3/8 drive. We haven't talked about him yet. That's because it's kind of an antique, and we don't really use that a lot anymore. I'll show it to you in a day or two. Now, in all these cabinets, I've thrown in an extra 3/8 ratchet recently. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3 normal 3/8 ratchets, and then this goofy thing, which is a flex head with a bent handle, which I don't really care for that bent handle, so I really don't use it. But if that makes you happy, you go for it, friend. This is the one bad problem, whoopsie daisy, with flex heads. Sometimes they get a little droopy. When that happens, they're not that good anymore. Okay, so that's my only concern and issue when I'm dealing with a flathead, or a flex head rather, is that. And then on the bottom, of course, we have your 1/2 inch stuff. Here's your breaker bar. There is a breaker bar for 3/8, but if you're going to do a 3/8 breaker bar, just jump up to a 1/2 inch drive stuff, friend. 1/2 inch drive across the bottom. Same setup here. Notice that in this one we have chrome swivels, sockets, and then we have a swivel. I've added some tape to this one because they do get loose over time, so I put a little tape on it that helps it kind of stay straight. Over here we've got impact swivels in this cabinet. Other than that, really no difference between those two cabinets at all. Here are metric wrenches. Again, I'm going to get rid of the old style and some of these double open ends and replace them with the newer style ratchet wrenches. Here's our first metric board of sockets. Just a minute. All right. And, of course, you see some line wrenches in the middle of the board there for the metric sizes. So here's the first metric board. So for the metrics, again, with 1/4 inch across the top, we have some 1/4 inch deep. So we have 2 ratchets for it. Okay. And then down here, we have 1, 2, 3/8 ratchets there. And then, of course, I always throw another 3/8 in the bottom. This one has a flex. They don't always. There's a longer handle here, shorter handle there. And then we got 2 rows of sockets there. We've got obviously some swivels over here on the ends, some deep 3/8 here. Okay, notice that you got 6 points and 12 points coming across. Okay. Got a few extensions, a few oddball swivels like that impact there. I'm not really sure why. And then down in the bottom, from here down, why, that's all 1/2-inch drive stuff. Interesting to note, these impacts are old school impacts and they're not really black, but they are thicker, you can see, than say these guys here. So they're, again, meant to take a beating. Here's the second metric board. Again, there's one, it's missing, two, not missing, I'm using it, 1, 2, and then there should be a third one down the bottom. Ratchets for 3/8, 1/4 inch across the top, 3/8 across the middle. Again, there's some impact swivels, 3/8 drive. And then from here down, that's all 1/2-inch drive stuff. Okay, so interesting. Now again, very small extensions here. Obviously, some huge extensions here. We have bigger impacts. There's a few deeps. Okay, over here in this board, some crow's feet. These ratchet wrenches I'm going to get rid of. We're going to do something a little different in this cabinet. Well, not get rid of them, just put them in the back room because I'm upgrading them to the newer style. Again, this is very annoying. If you had one of these guys, let's say your bolt was right here, and you were trying to run this wrench, you could not get your hands wrapped around it. It's very annoying. The new style has a offset to it, which makes it nicer. Here are some of our old style, which, again, I prefer the click type torque wrenches. So that's what those are. And I'll show you where the rest of them are as well. Then this cabinet is where we have our impact wrenches. So there's the biggie. That's one of the halves. 1/2-inch drive. This is a 3/8 drive. And then you have 3/8 drive sockets going across the top like so. We got deeps on this side and regulars on that side. There's a few extensions over there. And then down here you got 1/2-inch drive stuff. Again, metric and American. Well, actually it's American and then metric, I guess. And then over here on this side is the shorter stuff. And then that's an air hammer. So it actually just, the air runs basically makes a hammer. So you can put different points on the end of it. You won't get to use that until you're older. Over here. Oh, maybe I wasn't stopped when I thought I did. So you saw some of the tools missing. Most of them are sitting over here on this cart. I've been using them. So there's our smaller or stubby 1/2-inch drive. That's one of our bigger 1/2-inch drive impacts. Okay, and then I particularly like, as I mentioned before, I really like flex head ratchets. There's a little 1/4 inch one, and here's my favorite one at the shop, 3/8 one. Okay, but whatever. Here's our crimper, my favorite crimpers I was telling you about. Okay, so whatever. This is where the rest of them have been laying, is the ones you see missing in the cabinet. Oh, we're still recording. Well, walk with me. I made a little boo-boo yesterday there. Spilled some stuff, So over in the red toolbox, we have some more tools that you will get to use, pretty daily, actually, when you're in Auto 3-4. Okay, so up here we've got ourselves some very small screwdrivers. Some jeweler size. These are very small torque screwdrivers. These are Phillips and flat blades. Okay, these are what are called safety torques. We'll get into that later on. There's a little hole in the top. Picked up a set of these torque ones last year because I didn't have anything that was short enough, so I could use this end. They're basically like Allen wrenches, but with torques on them. There's more safety torques, or the tamper-proof rather. These guys here are external torques. So instead of the torques being inside the bolt, the outside of the bolt looks like that. Okay. See them occasionally. We haven't talked about these yet, but we'll get more into them later on. Picks, for obviously picking things like hoses, things that are stuck tight and loose. We'll need them. Here's some smaller versions of that. Trying to get things out. I'm not going to go over everything that's in here, but these are some special filter wrenches for cars if their oil filter gets stuck. We have a bunch of those in other places where this is just going to the overflows, I guess. That's kind of before my time. These are things that you'll run into eventually. These are for getting transmission lines off of Ford or something. And these are for fuel line connections, whatever. This right here is a impact screwdriver. We'll talk more about it later. I'll demo it for you. that a stethoscope, Mr.? It is a stethoscope. You can actually listen to the engine. See if you hear any clicking and clattering, trying to figure out where it comes from. Here's a little mirror. What? Yeah. Miscellaneous junk. Here's a steering wheel puller. Little temp gun, which apparently the battery's dead in. Awesome. Yeah, so interesting stuff. Whatever. Some of these are just kind of miscellaneous. Infrared light and glasses where you can find leaks. So oftentimes we have a leak we can't find. We will put some dye in the system, and then when it starts leaking, it's infrared. You can't see with the naked eye, but you shine a light on it, and it stands out like a sore thumb. Oh, there's your leak right there. So here's some more torque wrenches. These ones are the digitals I was telling you about. As a homeowner, I would not go buy one of these. Even if I was doing it in the shop, I wouldn't buy one of these ones. Okay. If I was working on engines all the time, where I was going to be rebuilding engines, newer engines, then I would not buy one of these at all. I would have myself, not that kind of click type, but I would get the kind that was in the other cabinet over there. I don't like this one quite as well. I would not get this. I would get one of these click types, or two of them, probably a 1/2-inch drive and a 3/8 drive. And then I would pony up and buy this monster. Okay. This monster is a very expensive wrench, but it will do what we call torque and angle measurements. Okay, this is what you need when you're building new style engines. Newer style engines require torque and angle. Okay, when you're rebuilding them, not when you're working on them per se, but when you're rebuilding them. So again, for the homeowner, I would not do those electric ones at all. I would stick with click types myself. A few miscellaneous hammers, bigger stuff that doesn't fit anywhere else. Miscellaneous pliers drawer. Yeah, a little bit of everything in here. So here's that remote hose clamp plier I was telling you about. Here's some more hose clamp pliers back in there. Hey, look, Mr. Groom, it's a pair of needle nose. Sure. Aviation shears. Ooh, big water pumps. Yep. Ooh, the long nose needle nose pliers. Yep. Old school wire crimper. That's right. This guy here for cutting hose. You know, some needle nose vice grips, etc., etc., etc. Oh, you didn't tell us about this one. Yeah, they're little hose pliers. I don't know. We'll probably talk about them later on. These guys here for pulling spark plug boots off. Whatever. Ooh, more, Mr. Groom, more crow's foots. Yep. But if you look at these ones, looks like flare nuts. That's right. These are for getting flare nuts off that you can't get to. Maybe with a wrench, you can use a flare nut. Some miscellaneous ginormous wrenches. I need to get rid of some of these weird ones like this from 1950 something. No kidding. It's kind of weird. They don't really fit anything that we do. I'll get them out of here, and I'm going to get some more bigger style metric stuff. I've run into a few times in the past where I don't have enough bigger stuff. As I said, we do have this one beam type torque wrench. I don't use it very often, so hence I stick it down here. Okay, these are, whoa, that's super big, Mr. Groom. It is. That's 3/4 inch drive. I thought you said we didn't use them. By the way, we don't use them very often, but we have them in case we need to. Okay, this drawer obviously needs to be cleaned out. I have not cleaned any of this out since I took over. I've just been too busy. You can see how monstrosity that size is compared to this guy here. This guy here is well, that's actually, looks like 3/8 actually. But I think it's 1/2 inch. It looks very small compared to that guy. Whatever. Anywho, no, that's half. So you can see the difference in the sizes. 3/8, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. Okay. We won't use 3/4 in here very often, like basically ever. Yeah. So we store the pry bars. And you see a few of them in here. These are clutch tools, clutch alignment tools. Every time you put a clutch in, it comes with a new tool. And yeah, so you get them and then you just, I have them. What? This is pretty interesting stuff. You'll see occasionally you'll use them in here. It's kind of oddball random stuff. There'll be special things where you're going to use it with. What you will note though is that box right there has snap ring pliers in it. How many? Oh no. I guess it's only 12. No way. I thought there was more than that. No, I guess it is only 12. It just feels like there's more than 12. There's a couple missing, I think, which I think are in the drawer. No, they're all there. It just looks different. Whoa, those are super big. I feel like those are medium. These are baby bear size. Yep, that's why. That's not all of them. We have lots of others. As I said, if you were doing this for a living, you would need to have a lot of them, different sizes, okay? If you were a homeowner, get you a couple size ones, and then just understand that, over time, you're going to run into one or two. There are going to be weird oddballs, and you're going to add them to your collection. Well, that's the tour, friends. Yes, Mr. Groom is wearing his shorts today. What? That's because it's freaking 6 o'clock in the morning, and I forgot to film your video yesterday. So I said, well, let's get going, and let's go do it right now. So here I am, doing my job because I care about the children. Have a great day.